This is Eschatology. Welcome. My name is Daniel Wanyoro. This course begins with the course description. And when we talk about eschatology, we are referring to issues related to the end times. This course will deal with death, the intermediate state, the resurrection of the dead, the tribulation period, the second coming of Christ, the judgments, and the final states. In our course objectives, at the end of this course, the student should be able to, number one, understand the importance of studying eschatology. The next one is to know the key issues in the study of eschatology. The next one is to prepare effectively for the second coming of Christ and to serve God fervently, having knowledge concerning the future. The last objective is to integrate the lessons learned in this course with other courses. We now begin our lesson 1, and that is Introduction to Eschatology. Eschatology is from two Greek words. The first one is eschatos, which means last, while the second one is logos, which means study. Therefore, eschatology is the study of the last things. The eschatological truths revealed in the scripture are meant to bring the believer two things, and number one is comfort, and the second one is encouragement. The question is, why is it important to study eschatology? We have 5 reasons, and number one, it is because it is biblical. For example, the prophets, the apostles, including Jesus Christ himself, spoke at length concerning this subject. The other reason is because of prevalence of deception. You realize that there are many unbiblical teachings concerning the end times, and therefore there is need for us to shed light from a biblical point of view. The other thing is correlation with other Bible texts, which means that our understanding of other Bible texts will be affected, opening our eyes to truths that we never understood before. Then number 4, we will have peace in our hearts because eschatology will quench our anxieties and strengthen our hope concerning the future. The last thing is to prepare for the future properly, knowing that the world is also preparing itself differently. There are a number of things to consider in the study of eschatology. And number 1, consider balance. And this means that we should not make eschatology a preoccupation, nor avoid it because we realize that it is biblical. The next one is to avoid speculation. If Bible is silent on a matter, it is best to remain silent with it. The third thing to consider is partial eschatological fulfillment. And with that we mean that eschatology is not entirely about the future. There are a number of things which have already been fulfilled. For example, Jesus prophesied that in the last days there will be earthquakes, wars, pestilences, and some of those things we have already witnessed. Another thing to consider is evangelistic role of believers. We need to realize that we have a part to play and that is sharing the gospel according to Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. We should also consider watchfulness. Eschatology should make us more alert and serious in our prayers as we see the days approaching. The other one is avoid arguments. We should not use our studies as a basis for further disagreement, but instead emphasize the areas where there is agreement. And the last one is to stress areas of spiritual significance and practical application. The study of eschatology will deal with two broad areas. And number one, individual or personal eschatology. And number two, cosmic or corporate eschatology, which we are going to begin to deal with in our next lesson. Thank you.